Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is another episode of the world famous The University Love the Best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Ladies and gents, today we're going to talk about something very important. We are going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discuss building a pipeline. We are going to talk about why you need hundreds, thousands, if you can, and get millions of people lined up to be in the pipeline. What does that mean? It means, ladies and gentlemen, you offer a service, you offer a business, you want people to see your content, you want to, you know, whatever you want to do, you need people to be lined up to take on your offer so you can because as we all know, just because somebody is a lead when it comes to selling, when it comes to all of that, just because they're a lead does not mean that they're gonna buy from you that day. It might be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. But you want people to buy on a regular basis. So what do? You build a pipeline. You and how do you build a pipeline? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be out there. You have to be on the, whether it be, you have a resume lined up somewhere, you have a YouTube channel, you do a podcast, you create content. If you have a business, you hand out flyers, you hand out, you're in the telephone book. You have to be somewhere where people are, okay? And the reason why I bring this up is I was thinking yesterday, I really want to excel in my copywriting business. I really want to be working on a regular basis, every day, every day, every day, every day, working with the client, working with people, every day, every day, every day. And I thought to myself, the hit and miss is not what I want to do. And once you have your mind made up about where do you want to go and what do you want to do, then you say, let's get focused, let's get serious. And then you start looking around, you start looking at things. And so I say all that just to say, I was I had I had this little book, and it talked about LinkedIn, and I've never used LinkedIn before in my life, and I thought, hey, if that's where the people are for the pipeline, and it helps part of the pipeline to create, then there you go, And so the reason why you want to have the pipeline, as I told you, you always want to have potential customers, potential clients, whatever word you want to use. I'll use customers. You want to have potential customers every day. You want to have potential customers every day. You want to be in contact with people every day, because as we all know, you're going to gain customers, you're going to lose customers, but the most important thing is you always have people in the pipe ready to go. It's very important. It is the lifeline to any business. Without potential customers, without you doing marketing on a regular basis, then your business is going to dry up rather quickly. So think about, you know, how do I get a hold of people? And listen, just do not do. I'm going to tell you something right now. Do not do the typical things. There are so many ways that you can go about this. I highly recommend. Listen, me, I know I'm a little different, but if I was you, I would use online strategies. Whether it be, I definitely would email people every day. When you build an email list, that's one thing. Make sure you build an email list. Make sure you build an email list. You have people. And as we talked about this before in this podcast, get as much information as you can. The more information you get on people, the better. If you can get a name, if you definitely get the name, get the first and last name. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. If somebody doesn't want to give you their first and last name, I would say forget it. I would say, man, don't even worry about it. Man, we good. Because people act like they need all this privacy. On People act like they're so private, but ain't nobody private. If we're all on the internet, buying from Amazon, buying from Target, buying from Whole Foods. You're using your credit card, you're taking your phone and you're scanning the app to do this and do that. Privacy, forget it. The only thing you are looking for is not to get hacked. You know what I mean? And there are different ways you can do that. But for the most part, man, listen, people have your name. They already have your information. So if somebody doesn't want to give you the information, I would say pish posh, pish posh. Don't even worry about the partner. We good, Bucko. Okay. But get as much information as you can when it comes to email marketing, and that way you can email people every day. That's part of the pipeline, and you want to be in contact with people. I know. Listen, trust me. I come from a job where speaking to people is optional. Okay, so I definitely understand where you might come from. You might not want to pick up the telephone and call people, but you can write people. I would, everybody's emailing each other. Don't get me wrong. I know it's gonna sound very contradictory, but just go with me. Build an email list. Yes, email people every day. You email people every day, and listen. The most important thing when it comes to emailing is email on a regular basis. If you say, hey, I'm gonna email you every week, email people every week. If you say, hey, I'm gonna do it daily, do it daily. But now, when it comes to if you want to, conduct some business, or if you are looking to get clients and all that kind of stuff, emailing people is great and everything. But I would pick up the telephone. Me myself, I would even send them a letter in the mail, because people use the mail, the post office less and less. I would send a FedEx package. I would send a UPS package. You know, if you want to get if you want to get if you want to get smart, I would get it to where the person has to sign it themselves. Get it certified. You know what I mean? You are trying to get business, and when you're trying to get business, you should go. I don't care. Listen, if you got to go through the thorny bushes to get a client, you definitely want to get one, because when you start to get one, you get two, you get four, you get eight. You see where I'm going with this? The more clients you get, the more people that want to work with you. It's listen. We live in a very sheepish world. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know that, and I know that. I was having a discussion with my wife one day, and we talked about restaurants. And we used to go to restaurants. Don't go as often as you used to, but now the restaurants we go to, uh, way back when we would we. I remember one time we used to go to Popeyes Chicken. Back in the day on a date on Tuesday nights was the date we would go to Popeyes Chicken. We a long way. We a long way from going to Popeyes for a date. Now my wife, you know, the meal is gonna be at least $75, but that's okay. I mean, she is the mother of my beautiful baby. So I say all that to say, I kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. But I say all that to say, I was talking to my wife, and we was talking about restaurants, and I said, well, people, if it's, they go on social media and they're like, hey, go to this restaurant, And then they act surprised because the restaurant is lined out the door. It's like this restaurant is jam packed and people are just sitting there, and then they complain, I had to wait 3 hours to go to this restaurant. Da, 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 da. And if you know the best time to go to a restaurant, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Some of the best times you can go to the restaurant, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, go before the rush. Go go after lunch. Go before dinner. 3 to 5. Tell you that right now. Go on a weekday, and every now and then my wife, I'll take my wife out to eat. We go around 3 o'clock, 3:30, and it's just the way I roll. And I would say, I got this whole restaurant shut down for you because there would be nobody in there. And she would laugh, and we would eat our lunch, and it would eat our whatever lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it, and it would be good. And I told her, I said, the only time that I want to go to a busy restaurant is at the buffet. When you go to the buffet, you want the buffet to be busy because they change the food out. But other than that, restaurants, you want to be slow. Now, you don't want your business to be slow, but that's what I'm saying. You want a pipeline of people, sort of like a restaurant on a Saturday. When you think pipeline, when you think how many people you want, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think restaurant, Valentine's Day, Saturday night. Boom, go. That's the kind of pipeline you want to build for your business. You want them standing at the door waiting for you to say, "Hey, I want to work with you. Let's work together. Let's throw up the contracts. Let's do this. Let's do that." And because I want you to make as much money as you possibly can. And also, not even the money part. This is the part that I hope for you and anybody that's listening to this show, and anybody that's going to listen to this show in the future. What I want for you is to have the ability to have clients lined out the door. And the reason why I say that is because if you always have clients, if you always have business, if you always have revenue coming in, potential revenue at the door, the thing that you won't ever have to do is worry about going to work somewhere else. You know what I mean? Your entrepreneurship, it will be gravy. Okay, and that's what you want. You want to have, without a shadow of a doubt, you want to have income coming in. You want to have people knocking on your door for the stuff that you are selling or promoting or whatever. You want to have them at the register. You want to have them at the door. You want to have it's a cycle, and you want that cycle to keep going. You don't want that machine to ever stop. When the machine stops, you're in trouble. Now, as we both know, I'm going to tell you this up front. You already know. It might take the machine it might take the machine a few days, a few weeks, a few months. It might even be a year. You never know for that machine to get going. But once you get going, I want you to be able to keep it going, never stop. Figure out, what you want to do, how do you want to do it, but build that pipeline. There's ways you can go about it. You can always build a website. You can always I highly recommend you build a website eventually. You might not have because you want the best possible website you can get. You want it to be fast. You want it to be interactive. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But there's other ways around it. Sometimes you can go. Sometimes you can be on YouTube for a little while, build up some income. Do a podcast, build up some income. You can get customers that way. You can build a pipeline that way. You can go to the LinkedIn's or the whatever other kind of social media platforms they got, TikToks and all that type of stuff. I know sometimes I sound like I'm anti-social media, which personally I am. Business wise, I definitely understand why you use them. Personally, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be on TikTok all day long. That's just me. I'd rather be My wife's gonna like this if she listens to this. I'd rather be doing my crossword puzzle or doing Soku outside in my backyard than watching a TikTok video. I hate the phone, but that's just me. I hate the phone. I hate having to be on it. I hate having to use it. I like talking on the phone and calling people, and, chit chatting and that kind of stuff. But as far as looking at the phone all day long, it's annoying. But you know what? It's a necessary evil. You gotta do it. You gotta conduct business. You gotta, you gotta play the game. I get it. And so you do what you gotta do. You build the pipeline, and there are very creative ways, if you want to do postcards and send people, you're looking, you want to cold send them emails, there's different ways you can go about it. You be creative, use headlines, use smart headlines, use efficient, be efficient, and if you're working on a smaller budget, you try to use the freebie stuff, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you do what you got to do until you start making some money, and then when you start making money, and you can make your budget bigger, definitely pour more into the ability to obtain a client. Okay, don't always don't always go the cheap route when it comes to business. All right, and so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We will be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are on YouTube. You can go down to you can type in Tony Rizzano, and you'll see the playlist for the Online Marketing Moves podcast. Click on that. Listen to all the episodes you want. Check out. I didn't do an ad today for Magic Mind, but check them out. You can always go to magicmind.com. This is a free plug slash marketing moves, and use the promo code marketing moves 20. I enjoy the product, so that's why give them a shout out today. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go, and I want to tell you something. Tomorrow we are going to discuss something very important. I want you to sit here now. I want you to think about it before you listen to. I know this is the end of this podcast, but tomorrow we're going to talk about the over studying, over learning. And sometimes we do that. Sometimes we overlearn, not because I'm trying to get all this stuff, but sometimes we overlearn, so that way we never get started on the thing that we need to do. And so that if that is you, then tomorrow, this is foreshadowing, people. Tomorrow, this is the episode you need to listen to. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you again. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about the best podcast in the galaxy. And until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Rizzano. God bless. And as always, everybody, peace.